Hey everyone, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. How are you? Today is Tuesday, October 27th, and it's time for Cricut Chat. We are doing some last minute, or I am doing some last minute thoughts for decorating because our city decided that it was going to do trick-or-treating this year. I think I might have mentioned this before, but we live right next to a city, very well-known city called Salem, Massachusetts. Oh, it's snowing where you are, is it? I've not seen any snow. So Salem, Massachusetts, as you probably know, is sort of the, where all the witchcraft trials happened, the witch trials, the origin of the witch hunt comment, I think, when somebody says, oh, this is a witch hunt, is, I think, sort of a nod to the witchcraft trials. But, it's a wonderful city, Salem. It's not all about witches, but this time of year, they have an enormous crowd of people that go there. And so we are right next door. In fact, in my local groups, I often will include Salem events just to kind of include people who are on the border. Excuse me, on the border, and Salem's a great little city, and but I would say my city, Peabody, which is right next door, has always suffered from a little bit of a Halloween complex, I should say, and so this year it's kind of interesting because of COVID. They've canceled the October celebrations they call them haunted happenings, I believe, and they've been doing this every year for as long as I can remember, 20, 30 years or more, and so. So a lot of people are sort of, oh, what do we do this year? So this year, the mayor, there was under a lot of pressure. Should we or should we not have trick-or-treating? And trick-or-treating is a big deal in my city. And even people who say they don't get a lot of people, they still get trick-or-treaters. And I've always handed out candy. So the governor of Massachusetts, Charlie Baker, asked that we give out, or had a 9-year-old ask if they would give out big pieces of candy to eliminate the diving in the bowl for candies. And our mayor, so that was Charlie Baker, he was on TV last week in Salem saying, please do not come to Salem. So I suspect on Halloween night, which is going to be on a Saturday, which is also a full moon, I suspect that there's going to be quite a few trick-or-treaters and a lot of older folks as well, because they do trick-or-treat into their early teens, I think. My son, who's 15, has an idea for costume and everything too. So anyway, I'm sort of putting together all these candy packages because I wanted to use remember we made those little tags and stuff. So I was putting together my tags, which these ones have no eyes. And I thought, I really should do some decorations because I've not done decorations for a while. I just do the handing out the candy, but, so I started thinking about decorations and a banner, and then I'm going to put a sign up, I think, that says, trick or treat yourself. So that way, the kids can just take the packages. But then I have this grand set of stairs, Fieldstone Foundation stairs. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to put some luminaries here? I know I'm taking a while to get to the point, but I thought about these things, which are these are empty candle holders from Bath and Body Works, I think. And I started to work with these images you see on the screen, which which come from one of our favorites, Rob and Bob. So we started working on these once before, and I don't think I really followed through to show you what the end result was, which is this. And so if in case you didn't have this size, and believe me, it's a very wide size, so I couldn't even get to the back. But if you didn't have that, you could use a mason jar, or remember our little mason jars from last week's snow globe? You could use those, but you're going to have to cut them down fairly small, and these are very detailed. And the other thing is the vellum on the back, which is orange vellum. And I wanted to show you, first of all, sizing on these, so how to do some sizing, and then how to color orange vellum and all of that. And I still can't believe that I have folks out there that don't know about the custom setting intricate cuts, because it is a lifesaver with some of these really intricate projects. So I figured today we would do this. Tomorrow, I'm so excited about tomorrow because we are doing a vertical sign, two-sided. So the first one is going to be Halloween, and then I'm going to flip it and put a Thanksgiving vertical sign. And there are some vertical sign graphics in Design Space that I found, and so I'm pretty psyched. I found an old piece of wood that I had hanging around, and I figured, let's do a vertical sign. I think it would be a lot of fun, and I'm going to cut it on the Joy because it's only 4 inches. Hi, Susan. It's only 4 inches wide, this piece of board. So it's perfect for the Joy because it's 4 inches wide and about 35 inches long, 36, I think. And that's perfect for the Joy. It's a great Joy thing to do. However, I will show you how to cut it down so you can do it on your Explore or your Maker. But tomorrow, definitely stay tuned for that extra long vertical sign, two-faced. One Thanksgiving and the other one Halloween. It's going to be a lot of fun. So this morning, we're working on these images. I want to show you where to get them. These are from our friends. Baby, it's cold outside. Is it, Linda? Yeah, Annette. So that image set, I'm going to just show you real quick. Let's go to images. And let's go to, I think I found it under, I don't even know how I came upon it, but I think I typed in vertical, but I might be wrong about that. No, that's not where I found it. So, it might have been in new. Maybe I went to new, recently added images. That's a possibility. But I'll find out where they are located officially and get back to you. Oh, here they are. Here they are. So here is one. It says come in for a spell. And then there are others here. There's like, this one's dancing skeletons, and this one says hello pumpkin. And then you'll see also in orange, there's like thankful, grateful, harvest, happy Thanksgiving. So I'm going to choose 2 of those, one Thanksgiving and one Halloween. I'm going to show you how to do this, and it's going to be fun to do that. And I also am going to do a larger vertical. I've had some requests to do like a large vertical door sign that people have been doing. So we're going to do one of those, I think, for the winter or for the holidays that says snow with a snowflake in the O, much, much bigger. I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? But so that's tomorrow. Let's go back to our image sets. We're going to go and work on an image set that we often will go to called the Best of Rob and Bob. And all I did to get here was I went to the search engine and I chose image sets and I typed in the word Rob, and that brought up 11 results for Rob and Bob. Okay, and there we've done cards from the Happy Halloween. We've done the Christmas is Here cards. We'll continue to do those. We did these art inspiration things and even did this cute little card. But we're going to go to the best of Rob and Bob, and you will see on this that there are, where if I can find them, there are these three. Here's one right here. And let's keep moving. There's this one, the Trick or Treat one, which I actually prefer. And then there's also here it is, a spider web. Now, let me just, there's the one that I'm going to do tomorrow. Okay, so here they are. And I've actually resized mine, but I want to talk about resizing here because in this case, sizing is going to matter because if you want it to go around the width of your candle, you need it to sort of, stretch it because it comes in at, let's see, this one here comes in at 6.4 inches wide and 3 inches high. So what I had to do was I had to take some string to find out how big my actual vessel is. So here is what I do for these things. So take out, this is just string or twine or whatever you want to call it, and I hold it on the glass with my thumb, and then I make it a circumference around and sort of pinch where that is the width, okay? And then I bring this to my ruler, which I have on my desk and you can't see, and I see that it's about 13.25 inches, which is going to be problematic because even for it wouldn't be so problematic for a Joy, but for a maker or an explorer, it would be, because what's the maximum we can go for a width unless we go to the 12 by 24, and that is 11.5. So this is a 13-inch vessel, and which is why you see that I have this extra piece here. And you know what? I think that that's okay, because what I found out was as I started to stretch it even to the 11, and I'm going to talk about width here, I switched it to 11.5 just for everything. And you know that unless you unlock the height width ratio, it's going to make the appropriate change in the other parameters. So for instance, I changed this to 11.5, and now the height is almost 5.7 inches. Well, guess what? The top of this is not 5, it's about 3 inches. So this is going to be problematic because if I cut it this way, it would fit around with the big space, but it would be about up to here for the top. And so let me show you how to change the parameters using the unlock feature. Now, you have to be careful when you're using unlock, because unlock can really distort your image, and you might have to start all over again. I've had to do that too. So unlocking can take place in two places, right here on the bottom left, and then also up here. It's very tiny up here, but it's a little higher than the width and height, and right in the middle there. So you can unlock either here or up here, okay? And when you unlock, that means when you change the width, the height is not going to adjust automatically. In fact, you could change the height to, 3 inches, and you'll notice that it'll still stay this width, and I'm sorry, this length. So we changed it, right? Length, width. It could be the either or. But look at what happens when you unlock. I could do this and I could make it as big or as small as I want to. And then what happens is that the cats start to get a little bit disproportionate. And I think this is also another one here that the scene becomes a little bit kind of not so wonderfully looking. Now, if you didn't want to make these votives, you could also make these into cards, and that's really a wonderful thing, but that's just an aside. So when you're doing the resizing, think in terms of, if I unlock it, it might distort my image. And so we need to be cognizant of that. So in this particular case, I believe I made it 3 inches high, which I'll change it to 3. And I made the width 11.5. And I think that does not look terrible. I think that does not look terrible. So, but then I started thinking, well, if people don't have these sort of glass things, if they don't keep them or they don't use candles in their house, what else can they use? And I don't know if you have old mason jars or you've done any preserving, pickling, or anything like that, but you could even use an old pickle container from the store, as long as you just get rid of the label, which sometimes is a little difficult to remove. But these are canning jars that I use to make pickles in. They no longer have pickles in them, of course. And so I thought, okay, I could make this image. And I started to cut them thinking, okay, I could make them a little bit taller than the candles. And then I thought, ooh, what about the plastic snow globe ones that we bought last week to make our snow globe ornaments? And I thought, this looks pretty awesome here. And I could get the entire image on here. And this was, let's just measure it with my twine. So I hold it onto the side of the jar and wrap it around, and then I measure it on my measuring thing, and it's about 8 inches around, and then the height is, I think it's 3. The height is, let me just check. It's about 3.5 inches. So I thought that would kind of work for these. And I that's what I was thinking. So I was thinking, it really does depend on the size of the jar that you're going to use, whether it's a empty food jar or an empty candle jar, or even, even a glass, if you have a glass, as long as it's not tapered. Okay. So, so this is a Dollar Tree jar that I got for $1. And so I wanted to just show, if you show like this, it would go all the way around. And then what I would do is put an LED light on the inside. So I kind of like this idea as well. So there are a few things that are a little problematic with using this image, partly because of the size. So we do need to be understanding of how to change the size and what's going to look good and what's not going to look good. But also cutting these out, they are very, very intricate. So let's look at this one here. And especially if you're going to make them smaller, I'll make it bigger. But you notice that the trees, each bit of tree, all of the things like the top of the cast or whatever that is, wrought iron fence, the tail for the cat, you're going to have to go back and glue them very, very carefully, which is what I did here. So that way when it wraps, these don't stick out. So here's one that's sticking out right here. So I need to go back and put a little dab of glue there so that when I have this on, they're not going to stick out. But look at how intricate it cuts. And this is cut for that Dollar Tree bottle, which, by the way, this is what it looks like in the package, Crafter Square craft bottle, and it comes in a little plastic bag. So I cut this out, and I use something called Cardstock for Intricate Cuts setting. Okay, and this is something a lot of people don't use. Yes, you can do the black in vinyl, and Annette, you could do this on the Joy, and you could do the black in vinyl, and I would probably do the background, the orange in vellum, and I'm going to show you how to do the vellum. So we're going to cut these out in cardstock for intricate cuts. Now, if you do not have a maker, when you get to this place, after you prepare your mats and you're choosing your material, if you have a maker, you know you have this browse all materials, and you can type in, if you want, intricate, just the word intricate, and you'll see here it is, cardstock for intricate cuts. Now, somebody was asking about intricate cuts for vinyl. There does not exist, to my knowledge, that there is intricate cuts basically slows down the machine, and it does 2 passes on your material. And I don't think that you could actually use this setting on vinyl. I don't think that it would work. I think it would cut all the way through. So I think with vinyl, it's a different material and will cut differently. But if you're working on paper, cardstock, this is a life-saving setting that you should know about, and perhaps you need to put it in your favorites, which you can have 12 different favorites, and here you go. These are my favorites: iron-on, glitter cardstock, and cardstock for intricate cuts are here. Now, if you have Explore, Air 2, Explore 1, the original Explore, any of those, you can still use this setting. You have to turn your dial to the 9 o'clock position, so it's like 3/4. It says custom, and then you would be prompted with this browse all materials, and you can look it up by typing in intricate. Okay, and then you can have cardstock for intricate cuts. I'm not going to lie, this is a lot slower when you're cutting something with cardstock for intricate cuts. It does take quite a while to cut it out, but it's definitely worth it. So leave yourself a little extra time in cutting these out. And I use this for all the Anna Griffin cards. I use it for anything that's snowflakes or anything that is just really, a lot of times, small letters work really well with cardstock for intricate cuts. So keep that in mind. Now, the next thing is the vellum. So let's go back here. So you'll notice that these have 2 layers. This layer is the black layer. Let me just ungroup it. And so this is the back layer. So this is the front layer, this is the back layer, okay? And what I'm assuming, although there's no directions, but I'm assuming that they want to create an effect where if you put a light in, whether it's an actual candle or an LED light inside of the glass, that you can see the light through and it's going to illuminate the silhouettes, right? But a lot of times you can't find vellum in some of these kooky colors. It's just sort of difficult. So what do you do to get vellum colored in orange or green, purple, or light pink? I mean, these are colors that you can't normally get on in the store and what have you. And I have actually gone through the process of purchasing like vellum online, and you have to be very careful because when you're looking for vellum, you need to look for it, and you have to specify translucent, because vellum can also be untranslucent, which means not see-through, can be opaque, and you don't know it. And then when you get it home, I thought I got a great deal one time on a ream of, it was called vellum paper, and I thought, oh my goodness, what an amazing find, and got it home. And I ordered online, opened it up, and it was not translucent vellum. It had a nice feel to it, but it was not translucent vellum. So let's see what we can do about coloring vellum. If you've been with me, Dreamingtree, yes, that's what we're going. That's what we're going to do, Shelley. So there is a designer that you may or may not know about. It's called Dreamingtree, and they're located at 3dsvg.com, and they offer a lot of free files. And I have used this, which is actually, it's called Halloween Vellum Color Pack. It's free. You go on to their website, 3dsvg.com, and you go to the free files, or you can do a search and search for vellum. And then here's what you have to do. This one here, there's the Halloween, and they have spring. So the Halloween has yellow, orange, purple, red, and this green. So you would add this to your cart, and then you would check out, and I already have it in mind. But you would just check out, place your order, and you would have to create an account with them. So once you download it, you would go to your, to your documents, wherever those might be, or in your downloads file. You see, but I actually put mine in my documents, and so wanting to find them, I typed in vellum in a search, and these are all the things that come up under documents that are vellum. And so I'm just going to be looking for the vellum piece that is orange for the background of this. And I did this before we came on. Oops, sorry. And I'm not sure if it's this one. It's a PDF, so actually this is not going to be it. Let's go to, there it is. Okay, so there it is. So this is from my downloads. It's called Boo Orange, and it's a PDF. So it will not cut, by the way, on your Cricut. A PDF does not cut on your Cricut. But what you can do here is you can print, and what you're going to do is print the orange coloring onto your vellum. So what you'll need to do is find vellum that is 8.5 by 11 so that it fits into your printer. So here is some vellum. Now you can buy plain vellum. Let me just show you what it looks like. You can buy this plain vellum. It's translucent. It comes in, is this the right thing? I don't even know myself. Hold on. Here's one. Okay, so it's translucent, and it's regular paper. So what you're going to do is put this in your printer, and then you're going to print this completely orange color onto your vellum. And it will use a lot of ink. People have asked me that before. I generally will only print 1 or 2 of these, so I don't worry too much about my ink. But this is what happens when it comes out of the machine. It has like a little border around it. And here is the orange vellum. It comes out a little wet, so you have to wait for it to dry a little bit. So this will indeed cut on your Cricut Explore, or in a case like this, you really know exactly what you need, and you can hand cut it. Okay, so Leilani's saying she's done it on plain copy paper, and that's worked for her, not as translucent. So there's a possibility. Now, as far as vellum, where to find good vellum, I have recently been able to get vellum at Michael's online. I had to order it online, Michaels.com, and I got a pack of, I think it's 100 sheets. Let me just check. Yeah, it's 100 sheets of clear or transparent or translucent vellum. Now, I don't think you'll be able to find this in the store. I did have to order it online, but I used a coupon and I was able to get this. Normally it was $20 for 100 sheets, which actually is pretty good because a lot of times you have to pay $1 for an 8.5 by 11-inch sheet unless it's on sale. So to pay $20 for 100, to me, that seemed really reasonable. So I did buy this at Michael's, but I did have to order it on their website. Someone else is saying that 12 by 12 Cardstock shop has it. That's fine too. Wherever you can find it, I'm just giving you suggestions where I get them, but I have been on the hunt for vellum in a large pack like that for a long time. And that's because I like Dreamingtree files and I often will do them. So there is that. So let me just show you how you would adhere the vellum to the front piece, and then we'll put it on our container, okay? I'm not going to take you through cutting this particular thing simply because it is very time consuming to cut it out again. So just bear with me on this part and try to cut it yourself. Remember to use intricate cuts there and be patient. Also remember, if you're using black cardstock, make sure you use good black cardstock because crappy cardstock black tends to rip easily. So let me just bring you down here real quick. So here's my vellum again, which I printed on my printer, and here is my cutout that I did earlier just before I came on. So this will work by hand, actually. I'm just going to put it up near there, and I can use my scissors or I can use my True Control knife or X-Acto knife, whatever you happen to use, and you could actually just cut it out around it. You don't have to be that precise. And then we'll just trim it up with the scissors, okay? And then we're going to flip this over and take our glue. This is the glue that I like, but you don't have to use it. And by the way, I had to put in an order for some new of these, what do you call them? The precision tip, the metal precision tip, because this one is clogged and I've tried a lot of different things paper trimmer would work too. I've tried a lot of different things to get it unclogged. So right now I'm just using the regular precision tip and not that very precision tip, if there is such a thing as that. And I'm going to be very careful and put just a bead of glue around the edges, and then what I have to do is sort of look for anything that might stick out. And I know that here on the, let me just put a piece of paper underneath this so you can see what I'm talking about. So see, there's a lot of little things, including the bird, the raven, I suppose it's a raven. And so you've got to be very careful. What you could do is put a little bit of glue over here and then either dab with your finger or something else, just so you don't get big old blobs there. That's another little technique you could use. I've seen people use like Q-tips or whatever, they're cotton swabs. Sometimes they use popsicle sticks, but what the point is, you do not want a whole lot of glue on the back here, but enough to make it stick to the vellum, because if it doesn't stick to the vellum, then it will actually it will actually lift away from and it won't look good because you're turning it on here. Okay, so here we go. And I always say you guys are going to do a better job of this than I am. And if you use something like this glue, it does dry clear, so you don't have to be so worried about it. But you definitely still just want to use a little tiny bit. See that? And we're putting it on all of these interesting parts of the tree. Okay. And take your time. It's okay if the glue gets a little dry, because you can always add more. And let me just see. Okay, I think we did well here. Then I'm going to take my piece of vellum and flip it over. Remember, we cut it slightly bigger than what we needed, so that's good. And I'm just going to press on here. And still I have some glue coming out, but that's okay because this does dry pretty clear. Let's see how it looks. Pretty good. I didn't actually center it on there, but that's okay because I'm going to just take my scissors and trim off this part. And, oops, I trimmed off a little bit of the black. I shouldn't do that, but thankfully there's a nice border around it, so it's okay to trim that. And this little piece here. Now I can already see before I even put this on my jar that I have one or two little pieces gonna stick out. So let's just go back and just put a little bit of glue on them to make sure that they can stick on there. And then we'll know. All right, there we go. Okay. So then we take our jar, and I suppose you could do it this way if you wanted to and put the LED light on the bottom here. That would actually be kind of cute. Or you can do it this way. It's up to you. I think I might do it this way, and so therefore I'm going to put my design going this way, and I'm going to wrap it all around. And you do not need a lot of glue for this. In fact, what you're going to do is just glue here on the end. All right. So I actually made this just ever so slightly bigger than the actual width of the jar. And so it's going to overlap a little tiny bit, maybe not that much. And so therefore I have some extra glue coming out here. All right. And that is our very cute, will look awesome for my stairs jar. But then this looks also very cute as well. So I'm going to put several of them out. And I like the idea of having different sizes out there. And I'm just going to illuminate the stairs. And usually the kids will climb up the stairs and get the treats. But I think I'm going to put the stairs, I'm going to put the candy at the bottom so they don't have to climb in their costumes and everything. And I do always use LED lights, but I suppose you could use a candle, especially if you're going to do this outside and the paper is not on the inside. So there you go, is a really quick, aside from the cutting on intricate cuts, it's a really quick using stuff you have to make some really quick Halloween decor for your trick-or-treaters if they're coming. Or even if they're not coming, you could certainly make one of these and put it on your table and it would look pretty cute. So let's see, that is our project for today. Remember a few things. To get vellum, to color vellum, you can run it through your machine. You can also use a marker. I've seen people use markers where they would, it's usually I think it's the water-based markers, where you can actually do that, and I know a lot of stampers do that too. So so there's that, and then don't forget about the sizing and cutting on intricate cuts. Remember that these are last minute things, and don't be like, oh, it doesn't look like Martha Stewart, whatever, but that's okay. The kids are going to really get a kick out of them, and it will look good for your Halloween festivities. All right, everyone, have a wonderful day. Remember, tomorrow we're doing this wonderful vertical sign. Cannot wait. And we'll talk to you again tomorrow, and hope that you enjoy your day. Take it easy. Bye.